No heroes. No heroes. No heroes, baby.
Hello guys and welcome back to another deck profile video here on our YouTube channel. What is your name and what do we have today?
My name is Rene. I played REIJU today
REIJU.
and I managed to get top 4 with the deck.
Absolutely.
It's a really fun deck. I can give it to all of you. You can play this deck.
Absolutely. And also you opened your serial number 818. Are you happy with that number?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. To be honest, I didn't really care unless it's like a really cool number, like 420 or something, maybe, or like all the same numbers, 777, something like this.
888, yeah, true.
Just Shanks in itself is good.
Is it your first serial?
Yes.
It's so nice.
I went 8-0 once and then lost 2 games and bubbled out.
So guys, top 4 REIJU. That's amazing. We will see your deck today. You will show us your deck. You will talk about your deck. First of all, how do you feel after this whole weekend?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy with my performance. I think I played well.
You did play, yeah.
I did get lucky at some points, but I think that's part of it.
Absolutely. But
I'm really proud of my performance.
you bring a leader when there's nearly a matchup that is not dead, but it is very hard against Red Purple Law. But you still managed to make it to top 4, and you did face laws.
Yes.
How many laws was it?
2.
2.
So lucky.
We will talk about that later, but let's start with the deck. Let's
Yes.
show us the deck.
Okay. So the deck is all about cheating characters for less done. Kind of like Black Yellow Luffy. I play 4 of the baby REIJUs. I play 3 of the baby Nichis. And 4 of the baby Ichijis.
So first question, why 3 and not 4?
Those 2 are like your main cards. This is situational and you will see him quite often, but 3 is enough. Sometimes you can't use this effect, and in some matchups it's not really good, like Black Yellow Luffy for example, like it can bounce 4 costs with the big one, and it's a lot about the 5 costs there, so 3 is enough.
In what matchups he's very good?
He's really good against Lucci, just taking the tempo away. You don't want this game to be long, because if they go Moria, you lose. So bouncing their Luccis is fine, bouncing Rebecca's is fine, Brooks maybe that you can't clear.
True.
So just getting the tempo out of them.
How about Red Purple Law? Or Bonnie?
Bonnie, it's good against the Rouge.
Yep.
And good
And to kill the small ones.
And good to kill the small blockers. That was really crucial in one of the games today. And yeah, Rouge mainly. And against Law, it's good, but not only if you can use it.
Yep.
Because then otherwise it's quite dead.
True.
Because it's a 6k body, not a 7k body. Sometimes I use it just for the body and to draw the card of the leader effect. And yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
By the way, the leader draws a card if I don't minus.
Exactly.
For those
That's
who
the
don't
leader
know.
effect.
Yes.
Okay.
Then we will go to the big ones for Ichiji as well. He
The
gets
best one, yeah?
kind of the best one. He gains rush if you have less than or equal done than your opponent, and you can give -2 to one of your opponent's characters. Kind of like rush ace. Really good to clear board, really good to pressure. You can cheat him out early. Most of the decks, especially Luchi, cannot deal with them with this only early on, because 7 cost is quite high. Bonnie can't clear it, and even the blue decks, 6 cost Red Rock is their whole turn. So yeah. Then 3 of the Niji, for the same reason, 3 of the babies. He's situational, he's good, he's a good tempo card, but you can't use him all the time. Those 2 you can use almost all the time. Then one of the big key cards, the REIJU, must be a 4-off. She makes the deck function. You can draw endlessly. Some opponents tried starving me. I was on 2 or 3 cards, ended my turn on 7, on 6. So this card really makes the deck work. You draw a lot of cards, you see a lot of your pieces.
Absolutely.
And the big boy, Judge, I play 2 of him. 2 is enough. There are some matchups in some games where you cannot play the card. And since you're drawing so much, you will see him if you need him. And if you don't see him, you do have a lot of options otherwise. So, and for those who don't know, when he comes, he gets all of the babies out of the field. You can resolve all the effects and have a full board again. So 4 characters. Then we go to the consistency cards. I play 4 of the stages. It's mandatory. You can keep a really, really bad hand if you have stage. Sometimes stage in like 4 2Ks, maybe not. But I keep almost every hand with this because the stage says trash 1 card, search for Germa in your deck, and this is so much consistency. You see your pieces. If you trash one of the big ones in the turn that you play the small ones, you're effectively drawing a card extra because you play them from the trash then, and this replaces them. And one of the events, it was on 2 first, but I cut it for a different card we can come to later. It's sort of like the 5th stage, and sometimes you draw it, sometimes you see it, and it can really help. 2 was good. I think even none could be played, but this is what I went with.
That's interesting to see because back then in OP06, everyone was playing 4 of it.
Yes.
And
But,
now only 1.
Yes, it's 1 now because you have to fit a different engine into the deck that we will come to later.
Yep.
And
right.
yeah, it's a one-off right now. I saw it quite a lot of times actually because you go through your deck. Starting hand becomes a lot more keepable with no stage but the event because it looks top 5 for the stage. So almost same odds.
Makes sense.
Okay. And then we
Now
will,
your MVP?
my MVP? No, it's not quite the MVP. It's a really good card. It's probably a little bit insulting not calling it the MVP of the deck. Porsche. Porsche is the Foxy Pirate card. When I minus done, I can search for Foxy Pirates in my deck and then play a 4000 power character or lower purple character from my hand. This is especially helpful because all of the childs, all of the babies are 4000 power or less. So you can go Porsche into this, for example.
And draw a card because of
And
the
draw
leader.
a card of leader and maybe even draw a card of
Oh
Porsche.
yeah, you draw with
so
Porsche.
you draw
yeah.
2,
Wow.
play 2 buddies and have a vanilla and a 7 cost. So to fit Foxy Pirates or make this card more consistent, I am playing 3 Gina and now the real MVP. Some might not believe it. Chopper.
Wow.
Chopper is such a great card. In this deck, what's really important is if you keep minusing Dawn and you're like on 2 or 3 Dawn, maybe if you play this card on 3 and resolve a child with it, you're on 3 again the turn after. So this card, Chopper, being a blocker, and on play, if I have equal or less Dawn than my opponent, I draw Dawn. So fitting this into a turn, maybe even the 6 Dawn turn. On 6 Dawn, I don't want to minus Dawn because I want to play Judge, for example. I can still play one of those kits and play Chopper and be on 8 Dawn the turn after. So it just allows for a lot more tempo in the deck. And this is just a 2K. The effect is leader lock to Foxy, best leader. But it's a 2K and can be grabbed off Porsche. So just a consistency card. To the next one off, Sanji. He's also 2K. The effect came up once in the entire tournament, but it's mainly there because it's searchable. So it's kind of like a 5th searchable 2K. As I am playing for Sora, it's a mandatory 4-off. On play, I trash a card from my hand, which is fine. I draw cards a lot. Sometimes I need to trash cards to draw cards again. And I can get back one of those little childs. And maybe you need the REIJU, you need the Russia, you play this for 1 Dawn. She fits into a lot of plays very well. So yeah, that's a mandatory 4-off and it's searchable. And the next one off, Kaya.
Kaya.
This Kaya was the second event, But I wanted to play more 2Ks. I was on 8, and I wanted to play 9. I might even go to 10 at some point, but 9 is really good. So if I have it in hand and I have a lot of 2Ks, maybe it's not the only 2K in my hand, it still draws 2 trashes to fill my trash, and it's a consistency card, kind of like the event searcher. So this is why I have 1 Kaya. I actually saw it quite a lot today. And then Queen, he's a good comeback card. He draws 2 cards. He's a blocker, draws 2 trashes 1. With the leader effect, you draw 2, trash 1, and then draw another of the leader. It's a blocker, it's a consistency. It's really good after judge when your board is full, and you have 6 down again. If you resolve the full judge, you play this, swing it with your characters, and you're really stable at that point. And lastly, you have to run it. 2 pudding. Good against Enel, good against Bonnie, good against Black Yellow Luffy. It's almost good against anybody. It even fills your 6 down turn. Sometimes you can swing 7 with leader, putting them if they take. If they don't, if they respect pudding, they might be trashing cards they need. Respect the pudding, and then you do something else. Maybe hard play a REIJU or something. Yeah. So this is the deck. I think it's pretty solid. Only change I might do is a 10th 2K, but I'm not sure yet. I think 9 is also alright.
But the deck looks really, really good, and I think you did amazing with it. Top 4 is an amazing achievement with this deck. So let's talk about your Swiss matchups from yesterday. Let's start with round 1.
Round 1 was Nami. It's a pretty solid matchup for me. A lot of buddies early. You can pressure their life a ton. I think I got to go second. I won the dice roll, and it wasn't really close. He countered a lot, and so I managed to pressure him down from like 4 life to 1 in 1 turn. Yeah, the deck is too fast at sometimes, and even with the chopper for 2 Don, I can recover the Don, so I can swing a lot. Yeah, so Nami was pretty good. The round after was Boa. Boa, I don't know if I got to go first. I got to go first, yes, I got to go first because I played Sanji on turn 2. He is 3 cost 4K. If you trash this character, you can sort the top 5 of your deck, kind of like the Dofi blocker. I played him, had him on the board, next turn, swing 5, trashed him. I did this because my hand after Mulligan was pretty bad. I think I mulliganed. What did I keep? I didn't have the pieces, some childs, no rangers. So I found a really good top 5, sorted it, put I think the stage at top, not sure. But yeah, he came clutch in that game. I won that I won that because I played 3 Porsche in that game. So she was the MVP there. The third round was against Lucci. I went first, I think. Lucci is a pretty solid matchup, pretty good for me. We have a lot of buddies in the early game. The game went into overtime with 3 of my cards left in deck.
Wow.
I won through the overtime because of life. I had to stall the game out. He couldn't finish me the turn before, and then my turn was the last turn. So I just went. I mean, he had 1 life at the beginning, so it was over. He played Sabo on 8 into like 2 or 3 Gecko Morias, the Gecko, Rebecca, he Helmeppo into Spandine, just stalls the game out forever. So that was a really close game. It was on 3 cards in deck, but managed to win that. Then I played against Moria. I think the worst black deck regarding this matchup. So it's better for me, but worse for them. They can't clear as much as Lucci does. The stage in Lucci really matters, and the board presence I have. He can't really trade board with me, like which he usually wants to do, because I just draw the cards forever. I counter, I draw the cards. He loses his board. He swung 5 with a Perona once in like turn 4. He had 4 cards in hand, and he had to let it die because I just go with 5, 5, 5, playing new buddies, and he can't really come back with the board I had. So that was really quickly over. The round after was Lucci again. There I got really lucky. It was a long game as well. It was almost overtime. He played 2 geckos and like 3 cards in hand, 2 life. And he almost got me. My turn was I had 4 Don. He had Rebecca, I think 2 cards in hand, 1 life. I went 5. I had the REIJU on board, 5. And then played this and went 7. He didn't get a 1k. So
Wow.
that was a pretty lucky game for me. But yeah, Moria is a beast, the big card. Then the 6th round was on stream against Dofi. That one, I think he bricked. He played putting on 5 Don and putting on 7 Don, which the first putting really hurt. I had 7 cards in hand and like the perfect hand. The game plan was set for life. And then, but I had stage on field, so whatever I drew, it wasn't really much of an issue because the stage is just so good. And then the turn after, putting me on 6 cards, and I drew Judge and I think 3 2Ks in the REIJU. Just swung with board, everything, and played Judge the turn after to close out the game. So that was a fast one. I played Bonnie in round 7. Bonnie is a pretty good matchup for me. Kid can be scary. Zorro, the Secret Red Zorro on 9 Don on curve is really, really scary. And but yeah, this card really helps to out the Kid. If he plays Kid and you have this in hand, you gotta make sure to have this in hand because you can reduce it and then swing your board into it. So it's only 6k at that point. And this helps to maybe bounce their or kill their blocker, the Rosinante, bounce the Bato. So yeah, that one, I don't quite remember how that went. I think it was pretty fast as well. I think Porsche carried that one. The round after was the closest round maybe in all of them. Was Law, my first Law, so pretty lucky until then. We almost went into overtime again because so far I've been always starving Laws. So and if they don't see REIJU or don't see like 3 REIJUs, this might work. We went like forever. I built board, he only swung with leader, I didn't swing at all. And it was a back and forth. And in the end, it mattered. He could shamble, and if it's Kid and Killer, I lose. If it's not, I win. I could counter his three swings, the 3 things that he did to the start. He shambled, he had a card in hand, he looked at me, played Beppo, and surrendered. Really good guy. I think he made top card as well. So my heart was beating. I thought I lost.
Of course, yeah.
Then the round after was Law again on stream. I goofed. I don't know. I played really, really bad. But in the end, it didn't really matter. He had 2 Kid Killer in hand. He was probably just winning that game regardless. So yeah, you can watch this.
So at the end, your score was.
And there's a game after as well.
Oh, that's true. There was one last round. Yeah.
Yes, the last one was Enel, the first Enel of the day. Probably by far the best matchup in the meta for me. You have everything you need to beat Enel. You have a bunch of bodies. They can't really trade into your bodies because you would draw a lot of cards. Like if they swing 5, if they swing 7, even rush Ace, rush Enel, you just counter everything. And if they play Ace or Enel, you just reduce this. You reduce it with EGG and then you can clear their board. If you have Porsche, EGG and another body by like turn 3 on board, then you're just storming away with the game. He tried starving me, which was interesting because sometimes I started my turn with 2 cards in hand and ended with 6. So
That's
I don't think that's quite a tactic, but
yeah.
It's like a lot of the people I versed, they don't know their matchup. They try to play it as they think it's played, and some read the cards. Some didn't even know what the childs do, didn't know what the leader does. So the surprise factor was really, really big that day. Yeah, and that was.
To be honest, that's one good point about playing a deck like REIJU, because I think if you are not a very, very, very good player, you need to be prepared for every matchup, and not everyone is prepared to a matchup like REIJU. That's also a good point about playing a deck. No one knows the matchup that good, or nearly no one.
Yes.
So that's really good. So at the end, what was your score on Swiss?
9-1.
9-1.
My loss was in round 9, and then
right.
the 10th round I won.
Amazing.
I ended 4th in Swiss, and top 4 today. So I came to screw the
Hey.
spot again. Yes.
Shout out to number 4.
Maybe I get third, depending on
Yeah, true. True.
so that does change, but it's
Then
either way.
let's go to the top cut. Let's
Top
talk
cut.
about the top cut.
The first game was on stream. It was Bonnie. I played okay, not really good. I forgot the lead ability one time, and it's because usually if I have a board, if I have a big swinger, I will swing with the big swinger first, then play this card, and then go into EGG. And in my mind, I already did that, so I played this, had this on board, swung with something else, and then this card rested. I don't know what I was thinking, but in the same turn, my opponent misplayed as well, so it didn't matter, which was quite good. Yeah, it went 2-1. Was really close. He had Zorro on 9 Don in 2 games.
Yep.
And if this card sticks on the board, you're dead in like 2 turns. So you gotta rush them down,
Absolutely.
which this deck is good at. Then the round after was Bonnie again. That game, I went 2-0. I got to go first in again because I was higher seed. And game 1 wasn't really close because I had a lot of pressure. He searched 10 cost Dofi earlier, but 10 cost Dofi, he's too late. He freezes my board. I just clear my board myself, play the kids, and have the board again, swing with the Russia. So yeah, that was really quick. The second game was more interesting. He played kid without the effect to keep up his leader ability, and I had 8 Don, and I didn't have Judge in hand, but I think I must assume he thought I had Judge. I played Queen just to draw cards for the 5 Don, and then I played this. I then played this. I could resolve him, but I didn't, because if he sticks on the board, I have 1 more Don active in the following turn. If he uses Kid's effect, or if he plays a blocker from hand, I can, without cost, bounce it with this, and then go into this and reduce it, kill it.
That makes sense.
So he's played Holy, rested the blocker of mine. I had Chopper still. He went 6 into this. I even countered it, and then went again into. Then we went into Queen, which was on board, and didn't play a blocker because I could have bounced it. So that game, this probably won me the game because he couldn't play a blocker. I killed Kid and then killed him the turn after, if I remember correctly. And then that was top 16. Top 8 was Enel. Yeah, pretty good matchup for me. I managed to lose the first game. I was really slow. I didn't start with stage. I found stage eventually, but I didn't really have a good board. He countered. He respected pudding. So by the time I had a big board, he had a big board as well, and I only had 1 case in hand. So if I swing, he kills my board. If I don't swing, he almost kills me.
Yeah.
So I just went for it. He killed my board. I played a REIJU to look at the cards I got and scooped. Game 2 and 3, I think I won in like 20 minutes.
Wow.
Because
everything,
Porsche into the EGG.
So much tempo.
So much tempo.
Yeah.
He usually, I got him down to 1 life by like his 6 Don turn, 7 Don turn maybe. So really fast, and then you can ask for a lot of cards because you swing at their life, you chip 5, you chip 7, they have to counter, and then they have to heal after, but if they're on 6, they have to katakuri something from themselves. So yeah, but in game 3 I had everything, I think, so I win this regardless, but he had 5 cards in hand. When I went, he took everything, I went Sora, trashed something, got the EGG, and played EGG, so I had a 7k swing on his 5 cards, and his hand was 3 Ace, 2 Yamato.
Wow.
His entire life was just Ace and Yamatos.
Wow.
So he didn't have a single counter in hand, but I think if he countered earlier, I still had 1 more Queen in hand, and then instead of going for this, I would go for Queen.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, and play this the turn after. So yeah, this was the top 8 match.
Yeah.
The top 4 match, unfortunately not on stream, but it was my fault.
Shout out to the chat. The chat wanted to see you on stream.
It was my fault that we weren't on stream. Yeah, I lost that one, 2-1. the first one I won because of pudding. The second one, the last game I almost won because of pudding. Because this
we need
card,
to say you played against Luffy.
oh yeah, Black Yellow Luffy.
Black Yellow
I
Luffy
forgot.
was the semi-final.
This card against Black Yellow Luffy can
Yeah,
auto win the game on the spot. I don't try to starve them. I swing, I play. I don't. In this matchup, you don't want to play Porsche generally because Porsche and EGG you might have some buddies, but Porsche becomes really much less important later on if he's on 9. Sometimes you can go Porsche into Chopper. This is good. You have a buddy. This is a blocker. This is really important because all of this 11k swings, you can't counter them. So yeah, Porsche into Chopper is fine. Search a card, draw a card of leader. But you generally want to get this on the field, but not Porsche. So yeah, game 1, I puddinged him, and then I killed him like 2 turns later. The game was really quick. Game 2, I swing. He goes Hiyori Ace, plays Ace Rush. Then I do I think I played. I don't remember what I played in game 2 after that. Then his turn is Ace again. So it's Ace on the field.
Wow.
6, 7, 7, and 7, 7 the turn before. So I was on 2 life, no cards left. I played Queen, looked for something, but that game was really quick. And the last game was pretty close. We went for the same thing. I swung, he went Yori Ace again, and that puts a lot of pressure on the board. But if I see this, I can reduce the ace and kill it if I need to, and then keep on pressuring life. I saw a pudding eventually, which was pretty good, but he had a Moria in hand, and I puddinged him into 2. that is what lost me the game, because he had put 2 cards in his life, but didn't resolve any of them. So pudding, if he doesn't draw Moria, he's likely not able to get to his life. So if he ends the turn on 5k leader, I just win because I take all these cards off. And he's on 5 or 6 for turn, whatever he plays then. So yeah, I ended up losing to 2Ks. I didn't know what his third card in hand was, if it was a non-counter. So basically to a 1k.
But it was pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, it was really close. That was the matchup I was scared of the most, because it's not the hardest matchup, of course, but it definitely is not easy. And I think I lacked the experience a little bit. But
still top 4 at the end.
Top 4 really
so
good, yeah.
You are happy with your performance for this weekend?
Yes, of course. I didn't even expect to come here. I was like, for funning it, if I go 5-5, I learn a lot about my deck. Still.
That's the most important thing at the end. And a nice serial number here. Your first serial number, like you said, yeah?
Yes.
And bro, congrats. I think we need an extra GG in the YouTube comment sections for this performance, because top 4 with REIJU, where we have a meta with Law, like I said, it's so amazing.
Yeah, I picked up the deck 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was legit before 2 weeks ago.
Amazing.
Told my friends I'm gonna do it, and I did it.
I think we will see more REIJUs in the future.
It's a good deck.
I'm pretty sure,
You
because
have
it's a good
almost
deck.
no bad matchups except for Law, which is really bad.
Yep.
But Law was not as trending here as it was in Asia.
True.
And Law is beatable, but like barely.
Barely, yeah.
And Black Yellow Luffy, I think, is the next worst meta deck.
I
but
agree.
It's also almost a 50-50.
True.
Yes.
So you have the last words to do, the last shout out here.
I want to shout out my waiting friends. I want to shout out my friends. Follow our favorite judge. Our little Wadatsumi. And follow everyone that cheered for me.
Yes, sir.
My team, my group, all my friends.
Shout out to them.
Couldn't be here today, unfortunately.
Look how shy he is now because of the camera.
Yes. Yeah,
so,
that's it.
Thank you for watching, guys. Also, see you there. The people who know who knows.
People who know. And remember Krefeld. Remember Krefeld.
Remember Krefeld, guys. The people that was in Krefeld, they know what happened here.
They know.
So, guys, if you have any questions, write it in the comment section. We will take care of it, as always. And yeah, guys, leave a GG there because amazing performance. Leave a like, leave a follow, and see you next time. Goodbye.